All right, we're back again. Another TV guide. Let's take a trip back in time. March of 1986. So 1986, the era of broadcast TV, the era of 3 major channels and maybe a few VHF if you were lucky with some weird stuff on it. The era of getting up to turn the dial to change your channel. Cable was around. A lot of people had cable. A lot of people did not. So I did not have cable. I was still using the antenna. Yeah, 1986. Let's go through this one. So this is March of 86. We got Madolyn Stowe on the cover. And why are they calling her Madolyn Smith? Is that some kind of misprint? I guess we'll find out. Maybe that's the name of her character or something. I'm confused already, but we'll become unconfused. So people would buy these TV guides. They wouldn't necessarily go through every page. They would use them maybe just to see what's on a given night. Maybe they'd read a few of the articles, maybe they wouldn't. If you're counting at home, there's number 1. Pat Robertson's in the appendix here. This guy's gonna sell you a house. Wonder how much a house costs in 1986. Probably bring tears to our eyes if we knew. Early days of 24-hour news. The beginning of the end. All right, cigarette ad number 2. If you've seen any of my other videos, the cigarette ads go away in the late 80s. So these are still the salad days of getting your smokes. 2-page Alpo ad. Wow, check out Mary Hart. She's chilling. She's looking 80s as possible. How great is that? We watched Entertainment Tonight in my household. That theme song it does something to your brain. So many good theme songs, though, back in the day. And also commercial jingles. 2 lost arts, among many. This guy's telling you to get AT&T. That's an actor. I can't remember his name. What's the deal here? Why are they... Madolyn Smith? Did she change her screen name? I know that's Madolyn Stowe. I'm not high right now. All right, I'm very confused. This might be one for the Google machine. Did Madolyn Stowe change her name or something? Looks like she's in a movie with Tom Berenger. That's kind of great in the 80s. They're smoking their Newports. They're playing soccer. They're a happy couple. Get your Newports and you'll have a happy relationship as well. Yeah, she's familiar. That Foley Square, I think we watched that in my household. Man, I have not thought about that since 1986, but I definitely recognize her. Looks like, what's his name's in a movie, maybe? Ed Harris, Flash of Green on PBS. Who's that female? Blair Brown. Look at the big hair. How many cans of hairspray was required for that? Leave a comment and tell me. They always do a page on the soaps. I don't have an in-depth knowledge of the soaps. I know some of them, and they never show the people I like. Anybody remember Cricket from, I don't know, All My Children, or one of those soaps? Girl's character's name was Cricket. She was super cute. Look at Doug Flutie. Flutie kind of got robbed because he wasn't tall, but he was an incredible quarterback, so he had to go up and play in Canada. What's the best sellers on VHS? So they changed this around. If you've seen any of my other videos, they started off by talking about the best sellers, and then eventually they started ranking the best rentals. But I guess in this era, they were seeing which ones actually sold. And of course, Jane Fonda's Workout, everybody was buying that. Miami Vice, I guess that would have been the pilot episode. People were buying that. That's funny. You could just record that. Look at this 2-page ad. Moonlighting only make 20 new episodes. 20 episodes is still a pretty good number in my opinion. I think back then they would make 26 per year, whether it be a sitcom or an hour drama. Any Which Way You Can. Who remembers those movies? Right Turn, Clyde. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you didn't grow up in the 70s and 80s. This is always interesting. This would be the pay channel, so if you had HBO or something, you'd have a quick snapshot of which movies to look for. We didn't have cable, so I would definitely not be reading this. But it looks like we got, I saw something that caught my, Against All Odds. That's a good movie in my opinion. Desperately Seeking Susan, unwatchable movie with zero plot, but it does have Rosanna Arquette. It's the only reason to watch it. And yes, I'm not overlooking Madonna. Rosanna's the reason to watch that movie. Falcon and the Snowman, great movie, timeless. Hard to Hold. If you're a Rick Springfield fan, you went to theaters to see this like me. Oh man, Hard to Hold, such a great soundtrack too. I guarantee like one person out there in 100,000 might remember that. Maybe 1 in a million might remember Hard to Hold. Rappin', one of the many sort of breakdancing movies of the early 80s. One of the worst ones with Mary Van Peebles. Actually, that's a pretty terrible one. Breakin' was the best of those. Everybody likes to make fun of Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo, but the first Breakin' had a lot of heart. This TV guy is from the Charlotte area. Not that that's super important, but if you're not familiar, they would print these up for various markets. So Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh, etc. would get this edition, and they would say, wait a minute, this is Madolyn Stowe, not Madolyn Smith. What's going on here? All right, I've done some of these in the mid-'80s, so I've called out all the great cartoons. Pretty much every great cartoon we know came from the 80s, other than like Looney Tunes. We got the invasion of some anime such as Voltron, and I believe Transor Z sounds very anime to me, although I don't know that one. Speed Racer I think is in considered anime. Mr. T's got his own cartoon. The Snorks was my junk. I think because that was the first one to come on. Like these Gilligan Islands and stuff, I think they would be repeats from the earlier in the 80s. So I think at 8 is when the new stuff would come on and Snorks would be the first thing on. So I'd always turn that on to start my cartoon day on Saturday morning. Superpowers Team Galactic Guardians. I do not remember that one at all. It's like the NCAA tournament's going on pretty early on Saturday morning. I'm looking for like the Soul Train, the American Bandstand type stuff just to see who might have been on, but I don't see it. Here we go, American Bandstand. Robert Tepper, Yarborough, and the Peoples? Come on. This is 1986. We got a million good musical acts, and that's all that Dick Clark had come up with that week. Check this out, 2-hour edition of Lifestyles and the Rich and Famous. Talked about this in my other video. The 80s was definitely when we started to celebrate excess, started to celebrate the yuppies, the rich people, and putting them on a pedestal and stuff. So Saturday night you're watching Airwolf, and then you're watching Clint Eastwood and the chimp and the orangutan for sure. Got a show coming on called Dresden Street. I don't remember that. Maybe we'll see an ad. Facts of Life, Golden Girls, 227. Does anybody remember the 227 rap? I do. Remington Steele was a great show. Looks like Love Boat was still on in 86. I'm always kind of confused about that. And I think we've seen this Fortune Dane in another one that I went through, but I've already forgotten what it is. Alright, so this is CBS, this is Saturday night. Got Loretta Lynn on Hee Haw. Hee Haw is a great show. There's Rosanna Arquette, Dance Fever, Adrian Zmed, getting all the girls. Solid Gold, we got Little Richie, Michael McDonald, Jose Feliciano, Phil Collins. See, that's how you stack your show. I don't know what Dick Clark was doing earlier. Benny Goodman, Let's Dance. Man, imagine if your parents made you watch that instead of like Airwolf or something. Or These Guys. That's a great ad. Sandra Locke was his longtime live-in girlfriend. I don't know if they ever got married. That's what's her name's dad. Shoot, I wish I could remember her name. She was a star in the 90s. She was in Natural Born Killers. That's her dad right there. Dresden Street, Frank Sinatra. Come on, man. What are they doing to us? Check this out. Benson was a fun sitcom, if you remember it. Remington Steele was so good. Let's see who's on Saturday Night Live. Griffin Dunn. Anthony Michael Hall was still in the cast in 86, which is always baffling to me. Wonder what the real story there is. Sunday morning's not something I usually linger on. I'll try to look for fun things if I see them. Laverne and Shirley and Company. Wonder if that's like a different version of Laverne and Shirley. 60 minutes long. What's the deal with that? Somebody in the comments tell me. What is Laverne and Shirley and Company, and why do I not know about it? All right, Sunday evening in 1986, like some movies as usual. If Tomorrow Comes, maybe that's like a mini-series. Family Ties Vacation movie. That sounds fun. Hope there's an ad for that. Blue Thunder. Come on, folks. How come Knight Rider's like, everybody knows that one, but everybody forgot about Blue Thunder and Airwolf? What's the deal with that? They're calling this the Gala of Stars, but I'm not seeing many stars here. Check this out. How good is this ad? Great movie. Looks like you could catch this on regular TV. We rented this when I was a kid and watched it like probably like 2 or 3 times that weekend. Great movie. Yeah, this is that If Tomorrow Comes thing. Cindy Sheldon was really big in the 80s. Looks like a female spy. Is that Madolyn Smith, aka Madeleine Stowe? I'm confused. I usually bring clarity to these, but I'm a little confused on this one. Yeah, they're calling her Madolyn Smith. And David Keith, Tom Berenger. They're putting some good names in here. They got a girl with a gun, and they got David Keith over here with a gun. Looks kind of fun. I don't remember ever seeing this. Yeah, here's that 2-hour Family Ties thing. That looks fun. Kind of like European Vacation or something. I definitely have never seen that episode. I wonder if they're like encountering a bunch of British things and being confused by them. Blue Thunder, there we go. I think Bubba Smith was on that. Does anybody remember? Anybody remember Bubba Smith? Hitchcock doubleheader. Karen Allen, she's great. She was in Starman. She was in Raiders of the Lost Ark. All right, this is Sunday night. If you're staying up till 4 a.m., you can watch 8 is Enough. Or if you have cable, you can watch Turkey Television. Great Space Coaster Children's Show coming on. Voltron. Yeah, I would usually catch Voltron before school and catch like 10 or 15 minutes of it, but it was so memorable because it was like nothing else in America at that time. Now we can just get anime, you know, anywhere we want, but Sally Jesse with her 80s haircut. Private Benjamin. Yeah, I don't know how long that ran. I think it was just 1 or 2 seasons. G.I. Joe cartoon, come on, we know. We talk about it every time. Thundercats, we know. She-Ra, come on. Even the guys watch She-Ra, don't lie. So Monday night, Kate and Allie, Newhart, and then that movie again, the second part or whatever. You Again, Valerie, and First Blood. Hardcastle McCormick. Yeah, tons of movies. Looks like this one might be missing some pages, or maybe they just tore out a mailer or something. Other Side of Midnight. Yeah, this would be your VHF channel showing some random movie that might be good. Might be your only chance to see it. That's how we did it back then. Yeah, here are these great ads that make these TV guides more fun. Kate and Allie. Chip's homeless friend changes everyone's life. Newhart. I won't rip on Newhart. I do every single time, so I'll leave Newhart alone on this go round. Hardcastle McCormick was a fun show. She looks funny with this jumpsuit on. Wonder if she really wore that in the show. Look at this First Blood ad. I don't know if he ever did. He ever have an M60 in the first one? Probably did. I know he broke into the gun store towards the end when he went back into town. Winter vacation packages for 79 bucks. Can't even stay at the Motel 6 for 79 bucks now. Yeah, I'm not even joking. Let's see. Marshall Dillon's coming on at 11. Trying to see who, let's see, Carson's got some people we never heard of. I wonder if Letterman's got anybody. Martina Navratilova on Letterman. What is Transor Z? Is that anime? Never heard of that. Sounds cool though. Having a cool title is half the battle, man. Trapper John. Yeah, I definitely never saw 1 second of that show, but I guess it was on in the mid-'80s. Oh, that Tomorrow Never Comes is on 3 nights. The A-Team and Hunter looks like 2 hours long for Hunter for some reason. Look how good the ABC lineup was, though. Who's the Boss, Growing Pains, Moonlighting, Spencer for Hire. That's strong, man. You got something for the family. You got something for the guys. That's a strong lineup. It's like 5 o'clock. There's a school break special, but it doesn't show us what it is. Oh, here we go. The exchange student. She's from India and she's struggling to maintain her cultural identity to become more Americanized. Yeah, I guess that was similar to the after-school specials. Be fun to see some of these and see what they were. Look at this. Oh, there's another after-school special, Wimp's Revenge. Peter Sellers movie. I don't know. Is Peter Sellers overrated? I'm going to vote yes. Loved him in a couple of movies, don't get me wrong. Loved him in Being There. Loved him in Dr. Strangelove, but he was overrated, let's be honest. Look at this. Look how glamorous this is. This was the 80s, man. She's wearing a bathing suit in every scene that she's in. Don't see any ads for that other thing I was hoping to see, but I guess that's... Oh yeah, I was wondering why Hunter was 2 hours. Maybe we'll find out. Let's get nosy and check. That's why we're going through these, right? Hunter is determined to bring justice to a man who... Oh, jeez. Wow. Yeah, I guess that would be a 2 hour one. I think I've seen that one recently. Yeah. Hey, man, they tackled some serious stuff back then. All right, we're into Wednesday. So much good stuff. Outer Limits. I mean, I could almost read every one of these, and we got a classic show. We got Hogan's Heroes, you know. We got Super Friends. We got Voltron. Rockford Files. Petticoat Junction. I mean, all you needed was your antenna and you were all set. You didn't have to pay $100 a month for cable or whatever it is. 150, 200, whatever it is. All right, let's see. So Wednesday night, I have to admit, some of these shows I don't recognize. Fast Times and Tough Cookies. And then Bob Hope's on TV again. Blake's Magic, I remember that. Don't know what Fast Times or Tough Cookies is. And MacGyver, Dynasty, and Hotel. So you got a little bit of adventure, and then you got your nighttime soaps. But that's a good bit of variety for you. All right, I mean, Bob Hope's got some people on here. I'll give him credit. He's got Webster. He's got Shirley Jones. He's got Boy George. He's got Dolph Lundgren. I don't know what they're doing. Royal Command Performance. I wonder what Lundgren's doing and all that. Okay, yeah, they helped me out here. Oh, this was that stupid... They actually tried to make a Fast Times at Ridgemont High show. Terrible idea. If you don't have Phoebe Cates in the red bikini, forget it. Cancel it now. And then, yeah, this, I vaguely recall this, because this guy, Robbie Benson, was pretty big in the early 80s, I think. But yeah, obviously this show didn't catch on. Look at how cool he is. Robert Conrad. That might have been a fun movie if you didn't have anything else to watch. Probably way better than Fast Times. Let's see if anybody else was in Fast Times. They obviously brought Mr. Hand back. I don't recognize the names. Oh, Courtney Thorne-Smith was in it. There we go. Patrick Dempsey. T.J. Hooker helps clear a hearing-impaired teenager who's been left to take the murder rap. If it wasn't for T.J. Hooker, he would have taken the rap. Don't know why they don't have like T.J. Hooker in some of those shows in syndication like they do some of the others now. Like, wouldn't you like to flip on this set and see some old T.J. Hooker episodes? Be 1,000 times better than just about everything else that's on. You can subscribe to your TV guide. I don't know if that was a deal or not. I don't think we bought them all the time in my house. I think we just get them occasionally just to check in on what's going on. I don't think we get them every week. So we got Magnum P.I. coming on Thursday nights. But he's going up against Cosby and Family Ties, so that's a tough one. Cheers and All Is Forgiven. I wonder what that is. Ripley's Believe It or Not was a fun show. Don't remember it being on in '86, but yeah, that was always an enjoyable show. Mainly because Jack Palance would just... He put so much drama into it. I guess this was a spinoff of Dynasty, maybe? Because that's the chick from Dynasty. What was her name? She was awesome. Emma Sams. Everybody loved Emma Sams. If you say you didn't love her, you're lying. Yeah, check out Ripley's Believe It or Not. A man who built Portuguese tragedy out of 15 million. Fastest messenger service delivery man. Yeah, just be fun, like weird stuff. Yeah, Emma Sams, come on. Of course they give her her own show. Here's that All Is Forgiven with what's her name? Carol Kane. Yeah, she was great. She was in Taxi. That's right. Bess Armstrong. She's a good actress. These guys are gonna... Look at these guys. They're serious, man. All right, we're into Friday, 1986. I'm guessing we're going to see some Miami Vice unless they have a movie on or something instead. Twilight Zone, I've talked about that. Riptide is a good show. With Knight Rider, yeah, no Miami Vice. Must be time to take the week off. Oh no, I'm wrong. Okay, Riptide, Knight Rider, Miami Vice. That's hard to beat right there. I guess if your mom makes you watch Dallas, but I'd be wanting to watch Riptide and Knight Rider myself. And then these were great shows. Webster, Mr. Belvedere, Different Strokes, He's the Mayor, and The Fall Guy going up against Miami Vice. Wow, that's tough. Friday night was packed. Even the Twilight Zone's doing anti-Soviet propaganda in '86. Something about KGB. If we only knew how much propaganda was in our stuff, huh? Yeah, Riptide was a fun show. If you haven't heard of it, if you like sort of the buddy detective, Magnum PI type shows, Riptide was fun. He's the Mayor. Don't recognize any of the people. So Miami Vice, pretty famous for having lots of guest stars. They got Giancarlo Esposito on there. A lot of them, before they became big stars later, would show up on Miami Vice. The Fall Guy. Got Marilyn McCoo on there. That's fun. All right, let's see if Friday night videos, how great is that? If you lived in the 80s, you had to love Friday night videos. We got John Larroquette guest hosting. Videos by Rolling Stones, Heart, Atlantic Stars, Simple Minds, Janet Jackson. Come on. Doesn't get any better than that. So much good music from the 80s. R.I.P. good music. Got another cigarette ad. Pause your video, print this out, and work it. It's fun. Test your knowledge of 80s TV and so forth. Right? Blank Miller's probably Barney Miller, right? We look 38 across. It looks like it fits. Get some silverware for 19 bucks. Okay, nobody's reading these articles. We're going to get our skull. Man, how much was the tobacco companies making back then, boy? And on the back cover, put your bets in now. What kind of ad would it be? What kind of ad could it possibly be? All right, folks. See you in the next one.